Hey there my friends, you're welcome to the next lesson. Today we'll be talking about HTML boilerplates. I opened my dictionary and I searched for the word boilerplate, what it means. Boilerplate means a text of standard routine nature. So this HTML boilerplate has a standard routine. That's why we say we use it every time you want to create a new HTML document. And I promise that I will be explaining this in detail in this lesson. Let's start with the doc type declaration. Now this is the HTML5 doc type declaration. Before HTML5 we had other versions of HTML. We have the HTML4, 3 and so on. And those other versions, they had longer doc type declaration. The HTML5 doc type declaration is the shortest so far. And this doc type declaration is the first line that you write in your HTML document to specify that this is an HTML document. Next is the HTML tag. This HTML tag has both opening and closing tag, whereas the doc type declaration does not have a closing tag. It just have a single tag, and the doc type declaration is not case sensitive, so you could use uppercase or lowercase, but our HTML tag is case sensitive, so it has to be lowercase or true, and it has opening and closing tag. The HTML tag is a parent tag to the head and the body tag. But before we bring out the head and the body tag, let's see what the lang does when imputed in the HTML. Now this lang specifies that the HTML is being written in English. That's why we have EN written here. Then how does the HTML tag act as a parent to the head and the body tags? We see the head and body tag, they are placed inside the HTML opening and closing tag, making it look as if the HTML tag is a container. In fact, we should look at the HTML tag as a container that it's helping us to hold the head and the body tag. Let's discuss the head tag. The head tag contains the meta tags and the title tag. This is our meta tag, and you see the meta tag has the charset. Charset is character set, and the character set we are using for our HTML5 is UTF-8. Then we'll have other metadata that are here. We'll quickly open our browser and search for HTML meta tags and see some of the functions that they do in W3 School. Now that we are in our browser, we just need to type meta tag in HTML. Voila, it pops up, and then we see W3 School. As a web developer, you are not expected to cram all the tags and their functions. We have sites out there that you could use to understand the tags and what they do. One of the examples of that is the W3 School. So let's open it and see what it has to say about the meta tag. This is the W3 School documentation, and we'll see apart from the meta tag, they have other tags that they have described. So in your own free time, I would advise you visit W3 School and read about these tags that are displayed on their website. So let's look at the definition of meta tag. Say the meta tag defines metadata about HTML documents. Metadata is information about data. And we'll see that most of our browsers, they all support meta tags. Then these were some of the attributes we were seeing in our meta tag. The charset is called a character set, and it specifies the character encoding for the HTML document. In the case of HTML5, we specify that our charset is UTF-8. The content holds a text value, and it specifies the value associated with the HTTP equivalent or name. This HTTP equivalent provides an HTTP header for the information/value of the content attribute. So if we look, we'll see that they have more things to talk about the meta tag, but for the sake of time, I'll leave that to you to research about the meta tag and other tags in HTML. Next, and the final one in our boilerplate, is the body tag. The body tag holds the visible layer of our website. That means everything we see in our website is what was coded in the body tag. These are examples of tags that could be placed in the body tag: the h1, the div, and the button tag. The h1 tag, I've explained it to you already, and I would not be explaining it again. I believe you already understand the h1 tag. So now let's move over to the div. The div tag is mainly an empty container. You can use the div to place literally anything you want to place in your body tag. The div on its own does not have width and height, and so once you put a div in your HTML document, it will not show anything except you give it a width, a height, and a background color, because by default a div is transparent. So now that we have given our div a background color, a width, and a height of 50 pixels, let us see the output of the div. So from our browser, our div is going to look like this. Alright, then moving on, let's discuss the button tag. So our button tag is like our div tag, but in the case of the button tag, it actually shows something when you run it without writing a text. This is how our button will look like when we run it without putting anything, adding any style property or whatsoever. But the button will look better when we write a text in it. Let's see something like a click me in the button. Let's see how the button will look like. Now we've added our text to the button. Let's run our code and see what happens. You see, the button is looking more beautiful, showing the click me, and when you see this kind of thing in the website, you know, okay, yes, this is a button. You can easily identify this as a button compared to how it was looking the other time. This is all we'll be talking about for the body tag for now. But in our coming lessons, I'm going to be discussing more tags that can be placed in this body tag, and we're going to be building a website. Precisely, we'll be building a portfolio website to explain HTML more better. So for all of that and more, I'll see you in the next lesson.